we spoke with John Martel.
My sister Jacinta had been in jail, so she had lice on her head, and our mother was treating her. That's the reason she stayed at home and I was with the others. Lucia saw something moving in the sky. It was Our Lady. She was approaching. Lucia asked me to get Jacinta, quickly. She insisted. She said, "It's no good to have the priest without the acolyte." I went and whispered in Jacinta's ear. Lucia said that you should go there, to Valinos, and be with her. They said they had seen Our Lady, but I didn't see anything. They said Our Lady had appeared, and Jacinta took a small branch of grapevine to bring home. When she arrived at Lucia's house, she said to Lucia's mother, "Oh, Aunt, we saw Our Lady in Valinos." She could not believe, but she smelled the small branch and felt its wonderful smell. Jacinta started running to our house, to this house. Our father was seated at the fireplace. He asked her what it was, and she said, "This is from the feet of Our Lady." She put one here and another one over there.
At Valinos, the lady tells the children not to be afraid. She promises to return to the Cova da Iria. Lucia asks about the coins left by the visitors. What shall be done with the money? The reply, it's for the chapel which the people will build. Sunrise, September 13th. They eagerly await the hour of visitation. Thousands of pilgrims from all parts of Portugal and Spain are at the Cova da Iria. The main highway is so jammed, people find it almost impossible to move. The shortest of the visitations occurs. Just before Lucia speaks, it appears to witnesses the top of the small evergreen bends and curves, as if under a weight.
I was at Fatima when the apparition happened, at the Cova da Iria in September 1917. But I did not talk with the visionaries because I still had doubts about the apparitions. And the priests tried to turn us away from the place. Who knows if this wasn't something invented by the devil to destroy the church?
The Passchendaele offensive, the campaign in the mud in Flanders in 1917, is of real significance in understanding the events of that year and the reasons for Our Lady's apparition at Fatima. Because in a sense, this was the climax of the evil and the horror of the military side of World War I.
October 13th, 1917. It rains heavily through the night. The same storm endured by the soldiers fighting and dying in Flanders falls on those who have assembled at the Cova da Iria. More than 70,000 have gathered from every walk of life. Some hoping to view the promised miracle. Some to taunt this display of medieval supernaturalism. The most important, influential newspapers in the country have been carrying stories for weeks critical of the events at Fatima. It has become a principal target of the anti-clerical press, the butt of jokes, the subject of columns of satire. Avelino d'Almeida, an outspoken skeptic regarding the apparitions, witnesses the occasion. He is the managing editor of O Século, the largest newspaper in Lisbon. His written account appears on the front page.
A spectacle unique and incredible if one had not been a witness to it. One can see the crowd turn toward the sun, which reveals itself free of clouds at full noon. The great star of the day makes one think of a silver plaque, and it is possible to look on it without the least discomfort. It might be an eclipse, but now it bursts forth in a colossal clamor, and we hear spectators crying, "Miracle, miracle, marvel, marvel!" Before the astonished crowd, the sun trembled, made brusque movements unprecedented and outside of all cosmic law. The sun has danced.
We said, "Lucia, If it is true that you can see Our Lady, why don't you ask her to perform some miracle for everybody to see? And Lucia said, Our Lady says on October 13th, something will happen for everybody to see. My mother always argued, saying that Our Lady couldn't make miracles for everybody to see. She could make miracles, but not for everybody to see. But when she saw the miracle of the sun, she could really believe. I saw, and my sister also. And my mother shouted, Here is the miracle promised by Our Lady, in the sun for everybody to see. It was a light rain when Lucia said, Close your umbrellas because Our Lady is going to appear. It seemed that the sun was saying goodbye to the sky and coming down like a saucer, singing and working and coming down, and stopped only when it almost reached the ground. Then my mother believed. Everybody was amazed.
Só parou de descer, quando chegou às árvores, parou. Houve então, choveu muito, estava assim o tempo como agora.
And it rained so much. The weather was like today. Later, the sun came out, and after midday, the sun started teasing. Everybody was frightened.
My God, everybody was frightened.
And the colors appeared, like a rainbow, near the bottom of the hill.
We thought we would die, but thanks God, nobody died. And we saw a shadow, and it was bright like lightning on the north. During the miracle, everybody knelt down on that wet earth and everything. Everybody knelt down and was screaming, asking for mercy, and saying, Miracle, miracle. It was Our Lady. Miracle for everybody to see. And they believed. After the miracle, everything was dry, completely dry.
As reported by those present and confirmed by newspaper accounts, the phenomenon lasted approximately 12 minutes. The sun zigzagging in the sky, reflecting brilliant multi-hued colors on the upturned faces, the trees, and earth, and climaxing with the sun plunging down toward the thousands gathered in the cova. Many thought the end of the world had come. It suddenly reversed itself, returning to its normal position in the sky. Yet another extraordinary phenomenon. All that had been soaked by the rain was now dry, ground and people. Theories of mass hypnotism, of autosuggestion were discarded when it was discovered that many reliable witnesses at great distances from the cova had seen the solar phenomenon. Among them, the poet Alfonso López Vieira. He saw it from his home at San Pedro, 40 kilometers from Fatima. Interrogation transcripts reveal the three children see Jesus, who blesses the crowd. It is on this day, October 13th, 1917, the beautiful lady declares herself saying, I am the Lady of the Rosary. The three shepherd children, what does the future hold for them? During the June appearance, the lady said that Jacinta and her brother Francisco would soon be with her in heaven, but that Lucia would live longer, that Jesus wished Lucia to remain in the world. Within 28 months, brother and sister Francisco and Jacinta are dead. For Lucia, intense loneliness follows the deaths of her cousins. She is happy to agree with her parents and Bishop José da Silva's suggestion that she, at age 14, enter the Dorothean Sisters' School in the city of Porto. Later, as Sister Mary Lucia of the Immaculate Heart, she enters a cloistered convent of Discalced Carmelites. November 7th, 1917, 2 a.m. Bolsheviks seize the Baltic Railroad and telegraph offices. At dawn, the state bank and telephone exchange. At 8 a.m., the Bolsheviks know they have won.
Now, obviously, what Fatima has taught us is being realized because communism is spreading its errors throughout the world. And when I say communism, I mean a basically materialistic, anti-religious philosophy. This is basically what communism is, under the cover of social reforms. Now, as a Christian, I'm passionately for social justice, wherever it can be established, but definitely not under the cover of atheism.
In 1917, the Lady of Fatima told the three children she would come again to speak further with Lucia concerning two requests. The first, that Holy Communion be received on the first Saturday of 5 successive months to be offered in reparation. This apparition came to pass December 10th, 1925. The second request, the consecration of Russia by the Pope.
In the
year 1929, on June 25th, the Blessed Trinity and the Virgin Mary appeared to Sister Lucia in her convent chapel. Our Lady said that the moment had come to ask the Holy Father to consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, with all the bishops of the world, in order to gain world peace.
Subsequent popes did enact this consecration, this entrustment of Russia to God through the Virgin Mary in various manners. In 1932, after 15 years of ecclesiastical investigation, the Bishop of Fatima and Rome declared the Fatima miracle and message worthy of belief.
Our Lady said the war was going to end. But if the world didn't improve, didn't live according to religious principles, there would be another and worse war during the reign of Pius XI.
There will be a sign, a night illumined by an unknown light. And by this great sign, Lucia will know that God is going to punish the world for its crimes by means of another and greater war. January 25th, 1938 is the night illumined by an unknown light. Newspapers headline the event in Germany, Switzerland, Spain, in Hungary, Norway, Italy, Greece, and the United States. In Europe, the sky was said to be like a furnace, aglow with crimson fire, seen from the North Sea to the Adriatic, from 9 at night to 2 in the morning. Lucia, seeing it from her convent window, recognizes it as the sign. 47 days after the Great Light, Sunday, March 13th, Hitler invades Austria. It's the Anschluss, prophecy fulfilled. The curtain is raised on World War II. Man's inhumanity to man has never been more evident. An estimated 40 million casualties, far in excess of World War I. Here, 70,000 men, women, and children are killed or injured in an instant. Hiroshima falls to the atom bomb.
When Solzhenitsyn arrived in the Western world, he's a person I admire very much. He said immediately, what is wrong with you Western people is that you have lost your sense of good and evil. And it is true that without an awareness of good and evil, it is impossible for us to live coherently at all.
Two superpowers emerged from World War II. The United States and Russia emerged to become involved in a Cold War, an ideological battle between democracy and communism. 1950, Korea. The homeless, the refugees, the dead. 1960, Vietnam. The homeless, the refugees, the dead.
If my requests are heeded, Russia will be converted.
If not, she will continue to spread her errors, causing wars.
Where this sister